everyone. This is a couples review, and I'm Ashley. This time it's just going to be me. Harold may come in and out from here and there on this show, but I wanted to make sure that I came on here and gave you guys my opinion on what's going on. This is Ready to Love. And I've been watching every season of this show. This time is a little different with the resort style, but it's interesting. So let's start off with Naya and Chris. Naya and Chris meet her cousin slash sister. And, the sister asks him, things about himself. And he actually tells us that he is an ordained deacon. I was really surprised with that. I don't think he practices though, because I mean, Lord, with the shirts all the way buttoned down, the chest out, I'm not sure if they're either, all the ladies in the church are all over him or if they have shunned him. I don't know. But that was surprising. I thought that was pretty cool. Naya loved it. She's like, we could have been married. We could start tomorrow. We could have a baby tomorrow. I'm like, okay, girl. But it was a joke. It was cute. He really likes her, so that's okay if you joke with someone like that who really, really likes you as much as Chris likes her. The cousin asks how he feels about, how things should go in a relationship, in a marriage, when it comes to finances.
So, what's your thought on finances?
Uh, I think that's a conversation that, one would have. I think, we split the mortgage. I would take water, cable, internet. Maybe she handles the car insurance,
So, it's about splitting everything.
being partners with it.
You can just tell that Naya's whole energy changed when he said that. I could see that it was disappointing. I mean, yeah, hey, that's what he believes. That's what she believes. You have to be with someone who, is on the same path as you. And this was kind of like a big turn for Naya. I could just see it in her face, and it was a very awkward moment. Then what made it worse is that he's all in her pockets.
I know she make more than me because ain't no
don't
money
know
in radio.
that.
She ain't no money in radio. I do this for the love. You know what
don't
I'm
know
saying?
that.
And so
I mean, he chose a dusty way to say that. There could have been, a more eloquent way to say what he said. He was just very sure. And it kind of seemed like he did that in like a leechy way. I'm sorry to say he did it in like a way that like of a guy who just wants to like sleep on the couch. I highly doubt that that is how he is. At least I hope he isn't. But man, the way he said it was very just like extremely confident that, he's cool with not paying nothing. I didn't like the way he did that. And Naya being how she is, I'm sure it came off really wrong. It was kind of rude. I had to look back at it again because I didn't really catch it the first time, especially when she gave her reaction later on. She threw me off. But going back to look at how he said this, I mean, it was a little obnoxious. Ugh. So let's go to Alexandria. Um, Alexandria has her friend Tanisha there. And so she has Brian meet her friend Tanisha. When Brian sits down, they talk. One of the things she asks Brian is if he cheats. Or if he has cheated before, and he was hesitant to answer. I thought it was immature that he was so hesitant, and I'm like, if it was in the past, just say that. I didn't like that. It was very childish how he was kind of playing around with answering, hesitant to answer, when you have to answer anyway. So just don't play around. Anyway, so he basically said it was because he wasn't getting what he needed. I'm like, see, I knew I didn't like you. Um, she didn't know his past relationship. She didn't know how to love him. That's why he said he did it. So it seems as if he didn't express to her or didn't even communicate. And we know now this is a pattern of him not being able to communicate. But yeah, so he admits that he actually cheated for a few months before they even ended the relationship. So We got his number. He's already shown that he still, to this day, doesn't know how to communicate when he no longer wants to deal with somebody. When he lied to Alicia about coming back to her room. This was what, like a couple of days ago from this episode. So, yeah, that was your past, and you felt like you didn't want to deal with somebody, so you cheated on them. But it seems as if you're still that same person. You still have an issue with communicating before you go out and you talk to somebody else. You just leave the person to the side and not say anything. I don't really like him. I don't think he's ready to love. So anyway, he leaves and Tanisha, Alexandria's friend, basically says it doesn't even seem like she's that interested. I feel the same way. I feel like what she's seen Brian do, I don't think she's as like smitten by him as she was before. And now I think she is, kind of still going along with it, even though her feelings inside are kind of changing. I think she needs to explore her options. Her friend says that she looks like she's forcing it, and I totally agree. I feel that as well. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think, I'm overthinking how Brian is acting? Do you see something different? Let me know because, I love hearing other people's opinions and I may miss a few things. So, you guys let me know what you think about Brian. Let me know if you think that Alexandria is changing her mind the way me and her friend Tanisha thinks. Okay, so Winter and Edwin have a cute little couple of minutes of, playing, I guess, sack or something. I mean, they have a cute flirty moment. I'm just really not sure that Edwin is as into her as he is Joy. And I don't know. I don't really feel the chemistry like that. But I could be wrong. It was a cute segment. So we move over to Chris again, and we see him talking to Joy and Simone at the pool. Poor guy. Like, he's really now feeling like he made a bad mistake. He had to go talk to his homegirls to see if, they could help him fix it. He says he feels like he dropped the ball, which, yeah, he definitely did, with Naya at least. He tells them that he said the mortgage should be 50-50, and he said that that wasn't the right answer, and he knows the man is going to take care of the mortgage. I wonder if he was speaking too fast, or if he wasn't being truthful at that moment, or is he not being truthful now with how he's kind of trying to change his opinion on the matter. But I'm like, if that's how you really believe, then just accept that maybe she's not for you. There's other girls. There's other girls here. I know y'all have a vibe, but I mean that's important to be aligned with. And I put here that he scared me at first, but I love how he cleared it up. I do, because afterwards he really tried to fix it. I just don't know if he was fixing it um, honestly, if he really just spoke out of turn when he was speaking to Naya and her cousin. And Joy said, it's important to set those expectations in the beginning, which is true. They're at a good time to, figure out what they are or what they like in that category. They just have to move on. They have to move on very quickly because we're almost to the end and we need to start making new connections. Okay, so Joy, Jay, Winter, and Edwin, they go on a double date. Winter's friend, I forgot her name. She went right into asking Jay, what does Joy have over Winter, or what does Joy have that Winter doesn't? And Jay, to me, didn't necessarily give a separate answer. He just said, they're two totally different women. And, Joy, he could feel her energy before he even went up to her. And Winter, he felt the same energy after he talked to her. So, I mean, he gave a politically correct answer. He met in the middle. I guess it would be awkward for him to just beef up one person and not the other. I guess it wouldn't be gentlemanlike. He goes into kind of hurting Winter's feelings anyway. But I mean, hey, you go on a double date with, everybody who likes each other. What do you expect? Joy's friend asked between them, who would he choose? So, like, who has his number one spot? Who would be the top pick? He said he made his first connection with Joy. So, that's going to be his top pick. I don't think that's the reason why Joy is his top pick. I think he just likes her more, whether it was his first connection or not. But whatever, he's still being politically correct. That made Winter uncomfortable as it would anybody. This whole thing is uncomfortable. I couldn't be on a show like this. I think it's I don't know, you gotta be really strong. You have to be really strong, or you have to, not really fall into just one person so quickly emotionally. It was tough to watch. It was tough to watch, him do that in front of Winter. Edwin said Winter adds a nice element of fun and energy. I guess he was saying that would be his first pick when they kind of moved the question on to Edwin. I think Joy out of those two would be Edwin's first pick as well. I kind of felt like Edwin just felt like, I mean, he can't also say Joy. It would be awkward if they would really just ice Winter out. Winter is amazing. I think they both like her, but I'm just saying, I think if they had to pick between the two, they both would pick Joy, at least these two guys. But, Edwin was a gentleman. And he said, Winter, got what he need. Or did he just say that to not make her feel bad? I don't know. One thing that I wanted to note is that both guys had their sunglasses on the whole time. I don't know, that was a little weird to me. I think, when you are sitting at a table, especially with ladies and you're meeting people's friends and family, you want to take your glasses off. You want them to see how genuine you are. You want them to be able to look into your eyes. I thought it was weird that they both kept their glasses on. It was kind of like they weren't being their complete selves. I don't know. But either way, Joy's friend says that Jay is a showman. And I don't think that was a compliment. I think it's kind of like you're trying to show your best self, which everyone does, but it's not as genuine. Like you just trying to show out. Give us your real self. I think that's the kind of friend Joy's friend is. Let's go to this crazy scene when Naya meets with Edwin. This was like so weird to me. She talks to him about how she was disappointed by Chris's answer regarding his thoughts on the husband being a provider. So she asked him how he feels about it. And he told her that he feels like a man should take care of the finances. And of course, that made her feel a lot better. But for me, he kind of gave a 50-50 answer in terms of, yeah, a man should do that if he can. He really didn't, confirm to me that he was that type of guy for sure. But I think she was just so, uh, she was almost trying to push it that he gave a different answer than Chris because she just wanted that so bad. But to me, he really didn't give a for sure answer that he was different. I could be wrong. What do you guys think? Let me know. But after he said that, at the drop of a hat, now he's her number one choice. I just thought it was so unbecoming of her when she was just all over him out of nowhere because we haven't seen them really connect in that way other than that one conversation they had, where they got into each other's lives about what they've been through. To me, and of course we don't see everything, but from what we've seen, it seems to be out of nowhere that she's so into him. Then she totally shocks us after she starts touching on him, giving him a massage and stuff, saying how he needs somebody to take care of him. She kissed him. And now I'm confused. I'm like, I just didn't think they had that close of a chemistry. Chris really made her upset to where she's forcing herself to move on. She's like, "Oh, I don't got that much time. I got to find a new connection." Is this just a game or is she just really that I hate to use thirsty. Or is she really just that eager to find a new connection and not leave here single? The kiss seemed out of place. It wasn't like a situation where they had some type of moment that led to the kiss. It was just out of place to me. And I feel like she even caught him off guard because even though he kissed her back, I don't think he liked the fact that she flipped the script. And the way he looked afterwards, it wasn't like an enjoyment type of look. It was almost like a I'm nervous, this is weird, what just happened type of look, especially when he took a sip of his drink. His face gave me didn't give me like I loved this moment. His face gave me, okay, this is awkward. This is weird. What did I do? Maybe he's even thinking, how would Chris feel? How would Joy feel? Because I think this is the first person he's kissed. I don't know. I'm just a little disappointed in her lack of class when handling this. I'm not judging. Maybe this is just, I don't know. Maybe there's a reason for this. Hopefully, next episode we'll get to the reason why and she'll explain herself. But girl, no, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Let's move on to her and Chris talking with each other. Chris wanted to clear it up. And again, I'm like, oh man, he really likes her because he's at the table, like, listen, I want to, let you know that I didn't mean what I said. And I don't know if I believe him. Listen, if that's what you really felt, then that's what you really felt. But I can get when you really like somebody and you say something that may get them to not like you anymore, then you do whatever you can do to turn back the hands of time. They talk at the dinner table and Chris clears it up saying that of course he'll take care of the mortgage. You could tell that, you know, she kind of was a little happy about that, but then she was back cold. I'm not sure if that was the editing. She definitely isn't as interested. And it's sad. But I actually agree with her thoughts. So he's not wrong, but I agree with her. And you got to find somebody who, is aligned with you, and they are just not it. So Adriana brings her friend Morgan, who is so, so cute. She is actually bringing Rashad to meet her friend. Morgan asks him, about his previous marriage. He said it failed because of the lack of communication, which is extremely important. He seems like he's grown for sure from whatever his past was, unlike a couple of the other guys. Morgan really liked him. I thought he gave a good impression, but they cut a lot of stuff out, so maybe he said more than what we saw. I don't feel like he said enough for the friend to have liked him as much as she did, but it could also be because we didn't see everything. After Rashad leaves, Adriana mentions that there's another guy she likes. His name is Kalfani. She talks about how he's the total opposite, but he's fine, chocolate, chiseled, so on and so on. And her friend says, mentions that listening to her, she's only mentioning, how he is physically, but didn't mention how good he makes her feel. I honestly don't see that she even really likes Kalfani genuinely, but we'll see. So going to Denise, Denise has her good friend Terry to come, and Denise invites both Anthony and Kalfani. Now, some of Kalfani's like comments kind of irritated me because I felt like he didn't really want to be there. He was like, I don't know why we're both coming. But I kind of felt like when he said, I don't know why we're both coming, it was more like maybe he didn't care to be there. I don't know. Or maybe he would have rather been there with Adriana. I mean, I think they're cool. They have some type of chemistry, but I just don't feel like it's super romantic. I don't know. I could be wrong. Um, they were both surprised that they were both there, though. They didn't know. Terry asked if Anthony has ever cheated, and he says, yes, when he was younger. All the guys are stuttering a little bit to that question. Um, when he was playing football, but now he's older and wiser, basically. Then Anthony gets asked, what does marriage look like? And he said it looks like he'll be the head, but it's a partnership. And, they both kind of said the same thing. It's a partnership, even though they'll be the leader. They want to make sure they communicate and, be partners. Kalfani went on to mention how he wants to break the generational curse, and that kind of definitely hit a chord with Terry and Denise. They love that answer. He made a good impression on them, but to me, I feel like I would love to see Denise kind of focus on Anthony a little bit more. Kalfani hasn't given, I haven't seen anything between those two to make me feel like they have this special spark that Denise is feeling. But also, I feel like there's something in the energy between them two that's not making it a no-brainer for me. Although Denise's friend would pick Kalfani and loves Kalfani the most for her, I don't know. I think I see Denise kind of force herself on him, and then his reaction is kind of like not enjoying it. He kind of backs away every time she comes forward. And it's kind of embarrassing when I see them because she's so beautiful. I feel like she doesn't have to do that. And really, Kalfani, I mean, he had on that tight shirt with that V-neck. That wasn't a cute look for me. I just don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. But I would love for something to happen to where he realizes how amazing she is. Because I think she's really cool. I really like her. There was this one scene earlier on when she went to go hug Kalfani, and I was like, girl, stop. Look at this.
You good? There you go. How the fuck you better? Why you act like D? Why you do all that? I'm silly, man.
I just could not. I was so embarrassed. I'm like, what is she? What is she doing? Ooh, I was like, girl, no, you are too pretty for this. For this dude, I mean, for any dude, but girl, not with that tight flowered shirt on. No, listen, no hating, no judgment. I'm just saying that the we have to be alluring, and she is alluring without doing all of that. It's too much. It's too much. And so I just want her to stop. I just want her to stop. Okay, let's see, who do we have next? Okay, so Tommy meet with the ladies. He kind of goes around to see, what the friends thought. Winter's friend wasn't impressed with either Jay or Edwin. She said Jay was trying to sell himself, and Edwin may let his mother and sisters have too much input, which I didn't see that part, so I don't know. But I feel like we're missing a few things editing wise. To me, Edwin said that that wouldn't be an issue, but maybe he said something else that gave them another, perception. Joy's friend Lydia called Jay a salesman and basically didn't want Joy to like Jay anymore, basically. Yeah, she said he was a showman, so I guess, the friend feels like he's not keeping it real, which I could see that. And that she was actually leaning more towards Edwin. I do think that Joy and Edwin make a good couple. I do like their conversations that we saw. I think we've only saw one or two, but for me, for Joy, I think they've had the best chemistry, and they've seemed to be the most aligned with their energy and stuff like that. I think they work a little better. Denise said her friend, of course, like Calfani, because they're most alike. And let me tell you, Naya totally made a huge turnaround by saying that she didn't even know Chris when Tommy said that she used to be, gun ho all over him. And she like, I ain't never been gun ho, period. I'm like, dang, girl, all of the intense vibes that she was giving, like, you would have thought that he really did something to disrespect her. I thought that was so out of place. Maybe she was so disappointed that it didn't work with him. That's where it was coming from her just being disappointed. Like, she liked him so much, and he, doesn't align with her in something that's extremely important to her. So it disappointed her. Maybe that's where it was coming from, but her attitude about him didn't make her look good because he didn't show himself to be that way. So it's kind of, it's not matched. Then Naya says she was only obliging his interest. I'm like, was she playing him the whole time and just playing like they were, she should have been talking to more people than earlier on if she really wasn't truly interested in him. I don't believe that unless she just falls for whoever likes her, you know. Now she's feeling Edwin more because he's more of what she wants. and that's less work she'll have to do. I do understand that because you don't want, to be with somebody that you feel like you have to raise. That's why I love my love. He's a man, he has his own opinion, he makes the right decisions, he's wise, he has his own morals. And we're aligned in our beliefs and things of how, things should go. So either way, I totally, totally get that. And I know how it feels to be with someone who you feel like you have to raise, and it doesn't feel like a relationship. It just doesn't. So I totally get her. And again, I totally get what Naya feels about how a marriage should be. I just don't agree with how she went about it. And Joy mentions Brian. I forgot how they mentioned Brian, but all in all, Joy says she's tired of Brian and he's not a good decision maker, which he's not. He decided to cheat on his girlfriend in the past, not telling her how he really felt. For his reasoning being she didn't know how to love him, whatever, a bunch of bullcrap. That's that on that. So now it's time to eliminate someone, and we get to Chris, and Joy is the person to meet with Chris. Joy and Chris are friends, and so, I'm sure it's better that way. Chris could tell something had shifted, he said about, with him and Naya. She said there were other people who wanted to match with him, but because he was focused on Naya, they felt like he wasn't ready to love. Now, I thought that was kind of weird because I'm thinking, wouldn't that make you feel like somebody is ready to love? If they found somebody that they align with and they continue to want to get to know that person and not kind of go around to every other girl, wouldn't that make you feel like he is the type of person that is ready to love and ready to settle down? But then at the same time, maybe they mean because he made such a deep connection with her that they didn't want to play second fiddle. Or it could also be that, the word got around that he was, trying to have, a woman pay his way, which he didn't say that. I'm just joking. He did not say that, but maybe the word got around and none of the other women were really feeling it. And the only woman who was probably okay with it would have been Joy, and that's his friend. And they don't seem to have any romantic vibes going on between them. So yeah, so he's out of there. That was so sad. He seemed really heartbroken. I mean, the way he was heartbroken was saying that he's going to take a break on dating. I didn't think it was that serious, but everybody has their own thing, and it just shows that he was a really sweet guy and he really liked her. Denise and Brian get together, and Denise said that he has to be straightforward, and he wasn't straightforward with Alicia, and he left her high and dry, and he showed that he can't be trusted, though he's still staying. I don't know. Who's keeping him? Is Alexandria keeping him? Maybe she wants to keep him so she can try to, figure it out. Because I think it's only her. I don't think he's made any other, connections. But yeah, okay, guys. So this was Ready to Love. I'll put the exact episode in the title of the video. It was a cool episode. I think the show is, it's an enjoyable thing to watch. I honestly don't take any of these people serious until maybe perhaps they're still together a year after, because this is more like a game show, kind of. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, it's entertaining. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for listening. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also, let me know what you think about the couples down in the comments so we can kind of go back and forth and see who's trying to play or who's being for real. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.